It is 1876, the end of the Third Carlist War in Spain. Due to nearby explosions, the nuns of the convent evacuate the orphan girls under their care to a specific location inside the house. Once there, the nuns instruct the children to pray together, which they did. Despite this, the roof collapses on them. One of the survivors, a young girl named Amaya, is saved by a mysterious woman in black named Madre. Madre nurses her back to health by letting her drink a strange fluid which will only work if she believes in it. Later on, Amaya wakes up yet again, but Madre is nowhere to be seen. She also notices for the first time that she is inside an old abandoned house. When she tries heading out, it turns out that Madre is just around the corner, preventing her from going outside, at least during the day. This is because there are soldiers roaming during daylight hours. Inside the house, there are also other people who are survivors and refugees of the war. There, a bearded, long-haired man tells Madre that she should not have chosen the young girl because girls are dangerous. But Madre insists that her decision to save her is correct because she is smart. As such, they allow the young girl to stay with them. That night, Madre assures Amaya that the other survivors are friendly despite their appearances and attitudes. One by one, the survivors all dress up in hooded clothes and head out into the night. When the young girl asks where they are going, Madre does not answer her, telling her that she will come with them in the future as well. Of course, Amaya does not want to be left alone, but the woman promises her that they will return immediately and that she will not be alone anymore. She tells Amaya that the moon will accompany her tonight in her loneliness, at least for the time being. Then, Madre smears her face with the black paint and covers herself with rugged clothes before heading outside. But instead of staying like she is told, Amaya also covers her face with black paint and ventures out alone. There, she witnesses what the others are doing. They're feeding on the bodies of the dead. One of the hooded survivors looks at her direction, causing her to instantly hide in the shadows. The following day, when Amaya asks Madre how she healed her, the woman says that she kissed her sickness away. She then tells the young girl that she will save someone someday, just like how she was saved by Madre and how Madre was saved by the bearded man many years ago. Seeing in her the mother that she never had, Amaya embraces Madre tightly as they lie together in bed. However, this is cut short when Madre senses that something is wrong, and she is right, the enemy soldiers have found them. As they are fleeing the place, Madre instructs Amaya to run away while keeping hold of the cloth that is covering her head. Because they have no other way out, the refugees have to run toward the soldiers that are anticipating them. During the chaos and confusion, Amaya and Madre run as quickly as they can away from the soldiers' sights. While running away, some soldiers chase and fire at them. Panicking, Amaya and Madre fail to notice the downhill slope, causing Amaya to roll down. Left behind, Madre gets shot as she tries to look for a way to escape. She writhes in pain from the gunshot that she received. But her agony increases when she sees the cloth Amaya has left behind dangling on some tree branches, thinking that she might have died from the fall. However, it turns out that Amaya has survived. However, she is alone once again. After emerging from the snow, Amaya moves through the dark forest with only the moonlight as her guide. She walks back to the house, which is now ruined from the soldiers' attack earlier. There, she sleeps until the next day. The following morning, Amaya wakes up from the intense heat of the sun. Due to being blinded and burned by the sunlight, she quickly covers herself with a nearby cloth and runs away. She heads to a hole under a fallen tree where a ferret tries to prevent her from going in. Because of this, she attacks the ferret with a stone she picked up, causing it to bleed. To quench her thirst, she is forced to drink the ferret's blood. 10 years later, Amaya has grown accustomed to living her life in solitude. She stays inside a cave during the day and goes out during the night, where she hunts small animals for survival. Aside from this, it seems that she has developed an obsession with the moon and its phrases, which she repeatedly draws all over the walls. Also, she still misses Madre's motherly care after all those years. One day, Amaya attempts to expose her hand to sunlight, but the heat still burns her skin. She peels the burnt skin from her hand revealing a smooth, pale skin underneath. She then uses the blood from the peeled skin to draw the sun. This time, she is obsessed with the sun. Amaya repeatedly exposes her skin to the heat so that she can peel it and have the blood as ink for painting numerous images of the sun. Strangely enough, Amaya wakes up one morning to find that she is no longer affected by sunlight. For the first time, she steps out of her cave to bask in the golden glow, causing her to cry in relief and joy. Because of this, she can now travel during the day, which she immediately does. In her venture through the wild, Amaya eventually spots a house in the middle of the forest. It is now turning to night, and the rain is falling as well, so she must seek refuge in that house. While getting near to it, her foot gets stuck on a rattling bear trap, alerting the man living in the house. But instead of treating her as a trespasser, the man welcomes her to his home and treats her wounds that she acquired from the trap. The man, Candido, tries to make a conversation with her, but Amaya can't speak properly after 10 years of solitude. Later on, he carries her to a room where she will spend the night. He tells her that they will head to town tomorrow so that he can learn who she is. The following day, they go to the town on a carriage. Candido is a cheese trader by profession. He trades his goods in exchange for whatever the other people can give him. While going through each house, Candido asks the people if there are reports regarding a missing girl, but all of them tell him that there is no such news. Amaya just looks from the carriage as Candido interacts with the townspeople, neither speaking nor reacting. At the end of the day, the trader returns home with no one claiming Amaya. During dinner time, he asks the young girl to eat, but she does not want to. Amaya just pushes the bowl of onion soup away from her, prompting Candido to push it back. When their hands touch each other, Amaya suddenly stands up and attempts to kiss the man, causing the trader to flinch away and yell at her. As such, he tells her to leave tomorrow immediately, and Amaya runs back to her room. Later on, Amaya climbs down from her room via the window. Under the pouring rain, she sees a herd of goats and decides to approach them with hunger in her eyes. The next day, Candido is milking his goats when he notices the unusual foul smell of the milk. There, a priest named Father Sebastian enters his barn to taste the trader's cheese. He also asks Candido if the rumors of a missing young girl staying at his house are true. The two men head upstairs to find Amaya rising from her bed. Father Sebastian beckons the young girl to come closer, and Amaya does so. He then examines her if she is in good condition, concluding that she must be taken to a hospice or another house. But the young girl quickly gets away from the priest's grasp and climbs to the top of her bed. As the priest insists, the trader asks for the young girl to stay until her injury has healed because he feels that it is his fault to begin with. The priest agrees and leaves his house. Afterward, Candido instructs Amaya that every food in the table is to be eaten, starting with a bowl of goat milk that he has poured. Surprisingly, the young girl finishes the whole bowl immediately, a different scene from yesterday's refusal to eat. Also, Amaya is now responding to his questions, although only in gestures. That night, upon seeing her rugged clothes, Candido takes out some new clothes for her to wear. He then burns the cloth that Amaya has always carried with her. It is at this moment that Candido decides to name her as Amaya because it is a beautiful name, and the young girl vocally agrees. Now wearing an elegant dress, Amaya is transferred to another room and her life begins anew. The next day, the two attend a church mass presided by Father Sebastian. The crowd inside the church murmurs among each other due to seeing the young girl's transformation. During the communion, the priest asks Candido if he knows that the young girl is already baptized as a Catholic, and the trader replies that it is sure. The priest then feeds them both a communion bread. After the mass, Candido and Amaya are met by some of the women in town who eagerly smile at the sight of them. It seems that they are happy that Candido finally has a daughter to take care of. While the adults are talking, Amaya slips away without anyone noticing. She immediately runs to a secluded place to spit out the communion bread as if she can't tolerate it at all. Amaya proceeds to head out of the church, and she is seen by a young boy named Miguel. He follows her to a tree and asks how she climbs it so easily, but Amaya does not answer him. Wanting to befriend her, Miguel climbs the tree as well. All of a sudden, the young boy falls to the ground when the branches he is sitting on unexpectedly snap. Aside from this, a swarm of bees attacks him due to being disturbed. Amaya goes down and just looks at his struggle to fend for himself. Later on, Miguel questions her as to why the bees did not attack her, and Amaya replies that they are afraid of her. He tells her that his mother believes that Amaya is an angel sent by God to finally bless Candido after losing his daughter some years ago. It turns out that Candido lost his daughter when she fell and drowned on a raging waterfall. Time passes by, Candido and Amaya bond with each other, now appearing as having a father and daughter relationship. Aside from this, Amaya and Miguel are also getting close as well. At one point, while resting together in the forest, Miguel kisses Amaya in the cheek, making her smile. However, one particular night, she gets visited by a vision of Madre. She ominously tells the young girl that without her, she will always be lonely. The following day, all the townspeople head to the church to pray. After eating the communion bread, Amaya attempts to swallow it, but she feels ill almost immediately. She falls to the ground and spits out the bread while screaming for blood. Because of this scandalous scene, Candido takes her out of the church and promptly returns home. There, the traitor fulfills the wishes of his adopted daughter by killing one of his goats for its blood. He then gives it to Amaya, who asks him to leave the room before she consumes the blood. After drinking it, Amaya goes out of her room to ask Candido not to leave her alone despite what happened. Candido reassures her that he will not leave her because she does not appear like a demon to him. However, the following day, Candido sees a bunch of crosses planted outside of his home. When he delivers his goods to his usual customers, they are not there to meet him. Due to what happened at the church, the townspeople have shunned him and Amaya like they are cursed. Even Miguel does not want to see Amaya anymore. Because of this, the young girl heads to the same waterfall where Candido's daughter had drowned. Without hesitation, Amaya jumps to the waters to finish her life. Yet, instead of drowning, Amaya finds that she is not struggling in the water at all. For this reason, she goes straight to the priest to ask for his help. She believes that she is a demon that cannot even die. That night, Candido notices that his adopted daughter is gone, so he heads out to look for her. He sees her in the church where Father Sebastian and the nuns are performing an exorcism on her. The traitor immediately takes Amaya out of their hands and proceeds to leave. When the priest tells him that his wife and daughter are looking at him from heaven, Candido yells at him to stop using his pain to control him. Seeing them as lost, Father Sebastian tells his nuns that they have to save them. As such, the townspeople walk toward Candido's house, armed with torches like they are conducting a witch hunt. But the traitor already anticipates this, which is why he quickly prepares his things so that he and Amaya can leave. He promises her that he will never leave her side. Before leaving in their carriage, Candido burns his house down to leave no trace and starts a new life. Many years have passed since then. Candido and Amaya now live in an idyllic place where they till potatoes and care for chickens. However, what is noticeable is that Candido has grown to be an old man, while Amaya remains the youthful girl that she has always been. Eventually, in his deathbed, Candido finally understands as to why, on that fateful night, the bear trap did not even harm Amaya. Still, he is grateful for her for being his daughter, calling her a miracle. Amaya confesses that she can save him from death, much like how Madre had saved her before. But Candido does not want to because in his mind, she has already saved him. With one last mention of her name, Candido finally breathes his last. Amaya cannot accept that she will be alone again. She tearfully tries to wake him up, but to no avail. The man is already dead. After grieving his death, Amaya buries her and embraces him one last time. It is here that she hears the loud sounds of fighter planes passing by, signifying that the world has changed once again. This time, it is now 1936, the start of the Spanish Civil War. Because of this, Amaya smears her face with black paint and covers herself with a cloth, similar to how Madre and the other refugees used to do. At the dead of the night, she walks through the ruined city where she sees rubbles and dead bodies alike scattered in the streets. While walking, Amaya hears a familiar tune being whistled. When she gets there, it turns out that the familiar tune came from Miguel, who is now all grown up and wounded. The adult Miguel instantly recognizes Amaya, apologizing to her for shunning her back then. Amaya has no ill will against him and treats his wounds. However, she gets distracted when she senses something strange. Upon looking, she sees a dark figure hovering above another wounded soldier, which disappears instantly when she looks away. Despite Miguel's plea to help him, Amaya ignores him and runs outside to search for that mysterious person that vanished. She believes that it is Madre who is still alive after all those years. With the night turning into day, she runs through the forest until she reaches a lake. There, she notices a cave nearby and immediately heads toward it. Upon entering the mouth of the cave, Amaya calls out to Madre. Out of the shadows, Madre emerges and quickly asks the young girl as to how she is still alive despite being exposed to sunlight. But even without Amaya giving an answer, Madre tearfully embraces her, telling her how much she missed her. However, the young girl tells her that she will not stay long. After what she had been through, Amaya requests that Madre return what she had taken from her, which is the capability of death. She wants to live a life with a sense, and only the possibility of an end can provide this to her. Of course, Madre does not understand this and urges her to stay, but the young girl refuses, telling the woman she once called her mother as selfish for dooming her with immortality. Amaya steps out to the light to demonstrate that she is trapped in her situation of not dying. She is like a soul trapped in purgatory. Madre tells her that she cannot do anything for her, but because she loves the young girl so much, she accepts her request by kissing her under the sun. Madre then takes off her cloth and exposes herself to the sunlight. As a result, she burns while holding Amaya's hand. The young girl collapses and falls toward the lake behind her, plunging into the waters from a great height. However, under the water, blood comes out of her body, indicating that she is human again. She then emerges from the water like a newly baptized woman. Amaya smiles while looking at the sky, relieved that she can now once again fear what the future holds for her. The movie itself has managed to fool me for at least some minutes before I realized that it is a vampire movie. For this reason, I liked it because it is not a conventional movie of that genre. It explored the idea of the necessity of death in a human's life. Sure, it is a terrifying thing that will happen to all of us someday, but it is actually a torture to witness the things that we love disappear from our sights while we live forever without them. Overall, the movie offers an interesting philosophical insight for its viewers to ponder.